gathered around her little white casket, wrote little notes on her casket. Sorry, this is because it did ping and it went off and you got caught.
No, obviously the person who behind the cover up.
Yes. Dismembered, decapitated. Probably because you're trying to hide something and make sure certain details don't come out.
Show cans of soup were found with holes in the lids.
Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you who are brand new to the channel, my name is Annie Elise, and this is my channel, 10 to Life, where we talk about some of the craziest true crime cases going on out there right now. We talk about all of the twists and the turns, some of the controversial issues behind them, really just in effort to raise awareness and hopefully get a little bit of justice in some of these cases. So again, if you're brand new, welcome, and for my returning subscribers, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing the latest updates that just got released in the Reagan Hancock case. And the affidavit, the probable cause affidavit, was just released, and it outlines so many new details, which I know were on my mind, and I'm sure they were on yours as well. And we get to understand a little bit clearer of a picture of what took place at that fateful morning, what happened in the process of everything unfolding, and these new details are truly horrific. So I just want to give you a little bit of warning. I've also been in communication with Reagan's family, and they have set up a PayPal for donations. But in addition to that, when I asked how more we can help and is there anything I can do, they said, please, they just need prayers. So I'll continue to keep you updated from what I hear from them and any news I learn. But in the meantime, please pray extra hard for that family, for their peace, for their comfort. I can't even begin to imagine what they're going through. And regardless what your personal beliefs are, we know that there is power behind prayer. So please say an extra prayer tonight, tomorrow night, and we just need to come together and show as much support for this family as possible. Before we jump into the updates, if you want to support the channel and stay up to date with new videos and case updates for this case, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and turn the notification bell on to all so that you get notified when we do live streams, case updates, and new videos are posted. Also, please like, comment, and share this where you can. It's imperative that we share this story so that we can give that family as much support as possible, and of course, spread that donation link for them. And I love hearing from you guys as well, so don't forget to comment and share your thoughts on this case with me in the comments. All right, guys, so we're going to get into it right now. And if you haven't heard much about the Reagan Hancock story, I am going to give you a little bit of backstory on it. But if you want to know the full backstory, go to the prior video before this one, and I outlined everything that took place. And we did a panel discussion with locals in that community, sharing what they've heard and what their beliefs are on what happened. Okay, so on October 9th, just a little over a week ago, police responded to a 911 call at Reagan Hancock, just 21-year-old, her home that she shared with her husband Homer and their 3-year-old daughter. And the call came in from Reagan's mother, and she was screaming, saying, "Somebody's killed my baby." Now, Reagan was 8 months pregnant, and she was expecting that baby in early November. And so when police first arrive, they check on Reagan, and they, of course, then want to make sure that the baby hasn't been harmed. So upon further investigation, they determined that the baby had been physically removed out of Reagan's body. Yes, that is real. And again, I'm going to keep this as a short recap. Go to the previous video for the long version because I want to get into the updates. So meanwhile, as this happened, a state trooper pulled a woman over, 27-year-old Taylor Parker, and she had an infant in her lap. Taylor tells the state trooper that she had just delivered the baby on the side of the road and that the baby wasn't breathing. She's rushed by ambulance to a hospital where the baby is unfortunately pronounced dead. And when doctors try to evaluate Taylor, she's very reluctant to do so, which seemed very odd to them. And it was ultimately determined that she never had a baby. And then as both of these events were happening, they put it all together and realized that she had taken Reagan's baby and tried to pass it off as her own. And they weren't close friends, but they were Facebook friends. Taylor also had taken photos of Reagan's engagement, of Reagan's wedding, and the day before the murder, she even came over to Reagan's house and dropped off a baby gift and a Starbucks for her. It's just the level of plotting is crazy, and we're going to talk more about that. But let me get into the details from that probable cause affidavit that was just released. In this probable cause affidavit, it outlines the sequence of events and the details of what took place from the state trooper's discovery of Taylor Parker on the side of the road all the way to what she had confessed to police, and more details as to what happened in the state of Reagan when the police went to her house and she was discovered as deceased. So here we go. As we know, Reagan's mother was the one who discovered her, which as a mom, I can't begin to imagine how traumatizing and terrifying that moment must have been. She walks into Reagan's house and Reagan was face down and there was blood everywhere. And this affidavit outlines that there was blood on the appliances, there was blood on the furniture, there was a pool of blood on the floor. It looked like there was a struggle and it was a gruesome, bloody scene. So police arrive immediately, of course, and then the next question is check on the baby. Reagan was 8 months pregnant, check on the baby, is the baby okay? As I mentioned, Reagan was face first laying down. This part is really horrible, guys. They flip Reagan over and they see a complete gash wound in her stomach and they realize that the baby is no longer in her body. Now, again, imagine being her mother who discovered her, not knowing that the baby was hurt or missing. That's not even where your mind would first go to, that the baby could even be missing as a possibility. But then as this scene's unraveling and she has her husband and her 3-year-old, which I don't believe the 3-year-old was in the room, thank God. I mean, thank God. But then you're like, oh my God, we'll check on the baby. Like, yes, this is a tragedy. Of course, we're heartbroken, but how is the baby? Flipping her over to realize that the baby has been physically stolen out of her body. I can't even begin to imagine how you deal with that and cope with that mentally. There is just no way. It is so horrible. The next thing we learned from this affidavit that was released is that when that state trooper pulled Taylor Parker over, she had the infant in her arms, the umbilical cord was still attached to the baby, and the other end of the umbilical cord, which is usually attached inside the mother, was tucked into Taylor's pants. She wanted to make it look as though she just delivered this baby, so much so that she's staging this scene and tucking the umbilical cord into her pants as though that's going to be enough and sufficient evidence to prove that she just delivered this child, but really was going to all lengths possible to make this a believable story. And just so you know, if you're brand new listening to the case, Taylor had been faking an alleged pregnancy this entire time as well, also stated to have been due around this moment. And actually, the day this happened on October 9th, she had told her boyfriend Wade to meet her at the local hospital because they had a scheduled induction and they were going to deliver this baby, her baby, their baby. And this had been a big story that she had been pushing, and it's unclear if she was ever pregnant. A lot of speculation says she never was, but it's unclear if she possibly was pregnant in the beginning and possibly lost the child. But she went to great lengths. She had a maternity shoot. She had a gender reveal. She was telling everybody she was pregnant. She was commenting it on Facebook. It was bizarre. So in the affidavit, it outlines how the police talked to Taylor's boyfriend, Wade, to see, did he know what was going on? Was he somehow involved? Did he know she was faking this pregnancy? And Wade told them that he did think she was pregnant and that he was supposed to meet her at the hospital that day for their scheduled induction. So what was she going to do? Was she going to lie to him and say, oh my gosh, we had our scheduled induction, but I actually already delivered. Come meet me. I have the baby now. They released me. I don't know what her story was there. And there's a lot of questions of how Wade would have continued to believe that she was pregnant if she was not pregnant. And hearing from all these people, it is possible. We know that due to COVID, there are very heavy restrictions in doctors' offices, hospitals, delivery rooms, to where he may not have been able to attend all of these doctor's appointments. How she would have faked a belly, especially that far along, and like she displays in these maternity shoots, I'm unsure. We don't know how, maybe they weren't intimate anymore, so he wouldn't have noticed that that wasn't really there. There's a lot of questions, but he is maintaining his innocence, and though he did not know. And something else that's very interesting is when Taylor spoke to police, she told them that the reason she did this was because she had lied to her boyfriend about being pregnant, so she needed to have a baby. And that just kind of to me says, okay, maybe I can't imagine with her being this crazy and evil that she would make that up as an attempt to absolve her boyfriend of any guilt or save him and get him off the hook. I believe that she said that because maybe that was her real motive, because she had lied to him saying she was pregnant. I'm unsure. The affidavit also outlines that Reagan confesses that she used a small scalpel to remove the baby from Reagan's body. And during Reagan's autopsy, they discover the scalpel lodged and embedded inside Reagan's neck. There's been a few conflicting reports as to was Reagan killed first and then the baby was delivered. And there have been a few statements made indicating that that's not the case. And from what I know, I would believe that the baby was removed first because you don't want to kill the mother to cut off oxygen supply to the baby, especially if you're trying to keep the baby alive to pass it off as your own, which then that just makes me wonder, when she attacked her friend Reagan, this woman, that she felt entitled to her child, did she cut her open while Reagan was alive and awake and feeling all of that pain, pull that baby out of her and then cut her and flee the scene? Like, putting myself in Reagan's shoes, if that's the case, I can't imagine how scared and protective and heartbroken she would be feeling in those moments, seeing your child being ripped out of your body, not to mention the excruciating level of pain, which hopefully at that point her body's in shock and she's not feeling pain, but the thought that you're lying there helpless as somebody is literally stealing your almost to term newborn child from your body. It breaks my heart in a million pieces, and my heart just shatters for this family. I can't reconcile it. I cannot reconcile it in my mind. As I mentioned, I spoke with a family member and they are just asking for prayers. And as I hear more updates, I will let you know. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Do you think that this was a master plan of Taylor's this entire time and that all along she was planning to steal a child? Because there have been also reports that she was friending multiple pregnant women on Facebook. So was she just trying to find the one person who would allow her into their lives? And then once she found that, she took over? Do you think Wade really didn't know and that he was played and he's a victim in this as well? What are your thoughts? Share them in the comments below. And again, if you haven't heard this entire story, head back over to my previous video where we outline all of the details, their friendship, their acquaintanceship, whatever you would call it, and all of the events leading up to this. I just want to say, for any of Reagan's family or friends who are watching this video right now, or Homer, your family and friends, whoever, I am so deeply sorry for your loss. I am so deeply sorry that you not only lost beautiful Reagan, but you also lost your beautiful baby girl. My heart is breaking for you. I can't imagine what you must be feeling. I am praying extra hard for you as you've requested, and I hope that you are able to find comfort soon. I am just beyond sorry. And guys, I'm sharing the link to the PayPal in the description box below. Please donate, because you have to think, in addition to funeral expenses, which we know are a lot, and that should be the last thing that is on the family's mind right now, what would Reagan want? And as a mother, I can only imagine that she would want to know that her 3-year-old daughter is taken care of for the rest of her life, or at least a good portion of it, that her husband can stay home with their daughter and help her grieve and mourn and doesn't have to worry about getting to work and not being able to be with his daughter because he's now trying to put food on the table and survive since Reagan is no longer here and contributing and helping. There are so many different ways that your donations will be put to good use, and I want to remind you of that, because I feel like so often we think, oh yeah, a GoFundMe or a PayPal and we donate, but we don't think of how important it truly is. And just put yourself in that situation for a moment and think about how important that is. Homer needs to be with their daughter. He needs to help her grieve. He shouldn't have to worry about finding care for her while he's working. He shouldn't have to struggle at all, and neither should her daughter, for what this evil, horrific woman did to them. So if the only way we're able to help is through prayer and a little bit of financial assistance, I'd say that we are in a very good position and we should do whatever we possibly can. So I put that link in the bottom below. Please help out if you can, and please, even if you can't donate, say an extra prayer tonight, regardless what your beliefs are. I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to hit subscribe below so that you can stay notified of upcoming updates, new case videos, and live stream chats that we go on. And again, please like, comment, share this where you can. Let's get the word out there. Let's raise awareness, and let's hopefully help this family out who's mourning such a horrible loss in any way we can. Thanks, guys. Until the next case, stay safe. Bye.